from the Sky Dome, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. This shirt makes me think of the Toronto Blue Jays, and when I think of the Toronto Blue Jays, I think of the Sky Dome. And when I think of the Sky Dome, I think of the old story of the gentleman in the center field suites who was, shall we say, enjoying his own company. Excuse me. The story always gets me a little emotional. So he's enjoying his own company, apparently thinking that the windows on the suites in center field were one-way windows, but they weren't. And he had the lights on in his suite, and he was enjoying his own company right by the window. Well, the fans at the game noticed that he was enjoying his own company, and he got quite an ovation from the crowd upon completion of the enjoyment. This is Kurt Berglund with another Pine Tar baseball game. This one, the 1990s set, and a game that I'm particularly interested in because these two teams were two of the very, very best in the 1990s. It's the 1995 Cleveland Indians today against the 1994 New York Yankees. The 1995 Indians were winners of 100 games in a strike-shortened year. People forget that, but the 1995 season was strike-shortened. They won 100 games in that season and lost only 44 for a winning percentage of .694. They won 69% of their games. First place in the American League Central and lost the World Series to the Atlanta Braves in 6 games. The 1994 Yankees were also the victims of a strike, of course. Their season was shortened greatly by the strike. They won 70 games and lost 43 for a .619 winning percentage. They won nearly 62% of their games. These two heavyweights are about to slug it out in Yankee Stadium. The opposing pitchers for the 1995 Indians, it'll be right-hander Dennis Martinez, who, as you can see, his card is an A+ on the road. El Presidente will be opposed by the left-handed ace of the, well, either him or Jimmy Key were the left-handed aces of the 1994 Yankees. And as you can see, Jim Abbott was an A at home in 1994. This card set is available now at ttlbaseballgame.com. ttlbaseballgame.com. Let's look at the teams in the set. This is our first set of great teams of the 90s. The teams in the set include the 1992 Athletics, the 1992 Braves, the 1992 Pirates, the 1993 Tigers, the 1994 Expos, the 1994 Yankees, the 1995 Indians, the 1993 White Sox, the 1998 Cubs, and the 1999 New York Mets. Those 10 teams make up our first Great Teams of the 90s set. They're available now at ttlbaseballgame.com, including these two teams that you're going to see in this game today. The lineups for the visiting Cleveland Indians include, leading off and playing center field, Kenny Lofton. Batting second and playing shortstop, Omar Vizquel. Batting third at second base, Carlos Baerga. Batting fourth and playing left field, Albert Bell. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, Eddie Murray. Batting 6th, the right fielder, Manny Ramirez. Batting 7th, the first baseman, Herbert Perry. Batting 8th, the third baseman, Alvaro Espinoza. And batting 9th and doing the catching, Sandy Alomar Jr. This lineup was not made by me and certainly not taken at random. What I did, and when I carded these teams, I spent a lot of time with these teams doing some research and spending time with them on baseballreference.com. This lineup was the one used in Game 4 of the 1995 World Series against left-handed starter Steve Avery of the Atlanta Braves. For the homestanding 1994 New York Yankees, leading off and playing left field, Luis Polonia. Batting second and playing third base, Wade Boggs. Batting third and playing first base, Don Mattingly. Batting fourth, the designated hitter, Danny Tartable. Batting fifth and... skipped one. Batting fifth and playing right field, Paul O'Neill. Batting sixth and doing the catching, Mike Stanley. Batting seventh and playing center field, Bernie Williams. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, Mike Gallego. And batting ninth and playing second base, Pat Kelly. This lineup was used 30 times by manager Buck Showalter in the 1994 season. This was the most frequently used lineup, according to Baseball Reference, by the Yankees in that season. All right, so we are ready to start our game today. There was something else I was going to say, but I guess it's going to wait. Here we go. Kenny Lofton standing in the left-handed batter's box against left-hander Jim Abbott. The pitch to Kenny is a ground ball to first base. That's Mattingly, and he's going to take it himself for out number 1 here in the first inning. Omar Vizquel, the switch-hitting shortstop for the Indians in 1995, stands in against Jim Abbott in the right-handed batter's box. And this one is grounded to third. That's a chance for Wade Boggs. He gloves it and makes the throw across to Mattingly for out number 2. Batting third, Carlos Baerga, the second baseman for the Indians. And the pitch from Abbott is lined towards center field. This one's going to be caught by Bernie Williams, and that will retire the side in the first inning for Cleveland. We're going to the bottom of the first, and we are scoreless in the Bronx. As we go to the bottom of the first inning, the first thing that strikes you about the Yankee lineup in 1994 is the 3 left-handed hitters at the top of their order, Polonia, Boggs, and Mattingly. And one would think if Dennis Martinez can control them today, the Indians have a pretty good chance. The pitch to Polonia is line to right field, and that's a base hit that falls in front of Manny Ramirez, as most fly balls tend to. And Polonia is on first with a single. Wade Boggs stands in, batting second for the Yankees. In 1994, Boggs hit .342 with an on-base percentage of .433. The pitch to Boggs from Martinez is a ground ball to Baerga. Baerga flips to Vizquel, and that's all as Polonia takes Vizquel out before he can turn 2. So Boggs takes Polonia's place at first base, and Don Mattingly stands in against Dennis Martinez. The pitch to Mattingly is taken to the opposite field, to left field for a base hit for Mattingly. Boggs will stop at second, and the Yankees have something going here in the bottom of the first off of Martinez. 1 out, Boggs on second, Mattingly on first, and Danny Tartabull, who apparently at this point was still taking batting tips from George Costanza. He stands in, and it will hit .256 in 1994. The pitch to Tartabull is a strike 3 and a breaking ball, and Tartabull is retired. So with 2 outs, Paul O'Neill stands in, trying to drive in the first run of the ball game. O'Neill hit .359 in 1994, and had a .460 on base percentage. The pitch to O'Neill is taken for ball 2. He's ahead in the count. 2 balls, no strikes. Dennis Martinez we have a range check, and O'Neill slaps this one at third base. That's Espinoza. And he can't make the play. It's off his glove. All the runners are going to move up 90 feet. The bases will be loaded. And Mike Stanley, the Yankee catcher, will stand in. He hit .300 in 1994 with a .545 slugging percentage. Dennis Martinez is now officially in a serious jam in the bottom of the first. There's 2 men out, and the bases are dripping with Yankees. The pitch to Stanley is lifted to right field. It's going to drive Manny Ramirez back a few steps, but he will make the play, and that will retire the Yankees in the first. So we've played 1 in New York, and there is no score. We go to the top of the second, and it's Albert Bell, Eddie Murray, and Manny Ramirez leading off this one for the Indians, the 95 Indians. Jim Abbott back on the hill. Albert Bell standing in. Little known fact about Albert Bell is that he was going to have T-shirts named. He did not like the name Joey, which was his given first name. And he wanted to be called Albert. And he had T-shirts made that said, "If you don't mind, please do not call me Joey." And they decided that that was way too many words to be on a T-shirt. So he just changed it to, "Don't call me Joey." All right, so Bell stands in. True story. Bell stands in against Abbott and smashes one at third base. Boggs takes it on a hop. He's going to throw across to Mattingly, and that's 1 down. Eddie Murray stands in. Line drive for Murray. Base hit in front of Lofton for a single. And Eddie's aboard. That'll bring Manny Ramirez to the plate. My lingering memory of Manny Ramirez, other than the fact that he is an incredible hitter, he's trying to make a comeback in Taiwan, I think it is, Taiwan baseball right now, is when Manny played left field for the Red Sox, and apparently nature called. And he had to take care of business behind the Green Monster. All right, and then thought it was funny afterwards, so I don't know. The interesting thing about that whole trip to the bathroom for Manny was he had toilet paper stuck to his spikes as he came back out on the field. True story. All right, Manny stands in. Oops, I dropped the dice. Manny stands in against Jim Abbott. Murray's on first. Albert, don't call me Joey Bell, has been retired already, so there's one out, one on. And Manny hits one to right field. That's going to drive O'Neill back a few steps, and that's 2 outs. That'll bring up Herbert Perry. Not Matthew Perry. Herbert Perry. The pitch to Herbert Perry is a comebacker to Abbott. He's got it. And he's going to flip underhanded to Mattingly, and that will retire the side in the second. We go to the bottom of the second. We're scoreless in the Bronx. Dennis Martinez is hoping that he has a better second inning than his first. We have the bottom third of the Yankee order up. Bernie Williams, Mike Gallego, and Pat Kelly. The pitch to Bernie is lifted in the air to right field. Manram is going to be back a few steps, and he'll take it for out number 1. Mike Gallego, the shortstop, is hit. It's a ground ball to third base. That's Espinoza. He'll throw to Herbert Perry, not Matthew Perry, for out number 2. And Pat Kelly stands in. And the pitch to Pat Kelly is driven foul. It's driven foul. Foul ball for Kelly. But he takes the next pitch for ball 4 and draws a walk. So with 2 outs, Kelly's on first. In the top of the Yankee order, Luis Polonia is up. And Louis drives one to center field. This is going to be a play for Lofton, who's moving to his right, but makes the catch. And that's out number 3 for the Yankees in the second inning. We've played 2 complete. It's Cleveland nothing, New York nothing in the Bronx. Alvaro Espinoza, the Indians' third baseman today, is in there, former Yankee, and then it'll be Sandy Alomar Jr., and then it'll be top of the order with Kenny Lofton to face Abbott here in the third inning. The pitch to Espinoza is lifted to center field. Bernie's going to come in a few steps, and he will make the play. Sandy Alomar Jr. stands in. He hit 300 in 1995. And on this one, he hits a ground ball to Boggs, who's moving to his left and makes the throw across to Mattingly for 2 down. And Kenny Lofton with 2 outs and nobody on, facing Abbott for the second time. Kenny hits one to right field, and that's going to be a play for O'Neill, almost dead in his tracks. And that will retire the side in third. We've played 2.5 in New York, and we are scoreless between these 2 great teams from the 90s. The set and these teams are available right now at ttlbaseballgame.com. It's Pine Tar Baseball, and due up in the bottom of the third is Wade Boggs, Don Mattingly, and Danny Tartable. And Boggs hits one to center. Lofton's going to have to come in a few steps, but he will, and he does, and he makes the play for 1 out. Don Mattingly is 1 for 1 with a single. 304 for Mattingly in 1994. He takes a ball. And now he takes a walk down to first base. Danny Tartable struck out in the first. It's those Costanza tips that are messing him up. Mattingly's on first. Boggs already an out in this inning. 1 out, 1 on. And this one is a wild pitch from Martinez, and Mattingly will hustle down to second. And Tartable will continue. We've got ball 2, no strikes. The pitch to Danny is hit to right, and this one's going to drive Ramirez back a few steps. Mattingly is going to tag and take third base. So the Yankees have a man on third base with 2 outs, and Paul O'Neill, their right fielder today, standing in. O'Neill singled in the first. We are scoreless in the bottom of the third. The pitch from Martinez to O'Neill is hit in the air to right field. Ramirez is going to get a chance to make another play, and he will. And that retires the Yankees in the third. We go to the fourth, and we're still scoreless in the Bronx. Omar Vizquel, Carlos Baerga, and Albert Don't Call Me Joey Bell are due up for the Indians in the top of the fourth. Vizquel grounded to Boggs his first time up. The pitch is hit in the air to right field. Paul O'Neill is there, and that's 1 down. Baerga hit .314 in 1995. The pitch from Abbott is a ground ball to Boggs, moving to his right. He's going to make the long throw and get Baerga by a step with 2 outs. It'll be Albert Bell standing at the plate. Albert Bell, who Brewer fans like me know, wanted Fernando Vina to be his best man at his wedding. And so he gave him a forearm shiver on the way to second base in one game at Old County Stadium. Yeah, and then he did it again. The pitch to Albert, or should I call him Joey? The pitch is hit in the air to left field. And that's going to be taken by Polonia for out number 3. And we've got ourselves an old-fashioned pitcher's duel. We're scoreless after 3.5 in the Bronx. Dennis Martinez back on the hill. Mike Stanley 0 for 1 today. The pitch to him is hit on the ground to short. That's Gallego, who's going to make the play across. I'm sorry, that's Vizquel, who will make the play across to Herbert. Don't call me Matthew Perry. And that's 1 down. Bernie Williams stands in. He is the Yankee center fielder, and he is 0 for 1 today. The pitch to Bernie is ball 4, and he's aboard. 1 out, 1 on, and Mike Gallego comes to the plate. Let's see what they want to do here. Bernie could steal you a base if you were so inclined. And they're going to send him. Gallego takes the pitch. Bernie is off, and the throwdown is not in time. Bernie Williams steals second base on Sandy Alomar Jr., and he's in scoring position for Mike Gallego. Mike Gallego hit .239 in 1994. Mike Gallego is one of those players you cannot stop him. You can only hope to contain him. .239 batting average with a crisp .327 on base percentage and a slugging percentage of .359. .359. That's power, ladies and gentlemen. That is raw power. Bernie Williams at second base takes his lead. There's 1 man out. The pitch from Martinez to Gallego is ball 4. Martinez lost him. And now the Yankees have 2 men on at the bottom of their order for Pat Kelly. Pat Kelly hit .280 in 1994 with an on-base percentage of .330. He slugged .399. Steroid allegations ran rampant in the Yankee clubhouse for Pat Kelly. 2 on. That's Williams at second, Gallego at first. There's 1 man out. Indians infield at double play depth. Kelly sawed off. This one's going to bloop into right field. And Williams is going to try and score. Manny Ramirez collects the ball in right field. If that's the expression I'm looking for. Williams is going to try and score the Yankees' first run. The throw is coming home, and Williams is safe. It's 1-0 Yankees. Gallego takes third, and the Yankees have men at the corners with one man out. Martinez is in a jam, and Luis Polonia is stepping to the plate. Kelly at first, Gallego at third. Indians infield remains at double play depth. The pitch is chopped over the mound towards center field. Polonia with good speed. He's going to beat this out, and Gallego scores from third base. It's 2-0 Yankees on a little bit of a fluky inning, but the runs count regardless. Now Kelly moves up to second. Polonia's at first, and you've got yourself trouble with Wade Boggs at the plate and Don Mattingly on deck. Indians playing for two. And the pitch to Boggs is a ground ball at second. That's Baerga. Vizquel to Herbert, don't call me Matthew Perry, and that is a double play. Indians get out of it, but surrender 2 runs to the Yankees, and after 4, it's Yankees 2, Indians nothing here in the Bronx. Top of the 5th, Abbott cruising along. He's allowed 1 hit. He's pitched 1 over the minimum, and it'll be Eddie Murray, Manny Ramirez, whose bowels apparently have been evacuated appropriately, and Herbert, don't call me Matthew Perry. Eddie Murray stands in against Abbott, and he drills one to center field. It's going to drive Bernie Williams back, but he's going to make the play for the first out of the inning. Manny Ramirez 0 for 1. Man Ram with a healthy gastrointestinal system. The pitch. He draws a walk. Manny's aboard, and that's Abbott's first walk of the ball game. Manny's aboard, and Herbert, don't call me Matthew Perry, is coming to the plate, and he is ready to hit. He's 0 for 1 today. He hit .315 in 1995. This one's a grounder to third. Boggs, Kelly, Mattingly, double play for the Yankees, and an Indians' potential rally is stifled in the top of the 5th. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It's the heart of the Yankees' order coming up. Mattingly, Tartable, and O'Neill here in the Bronx. They lead 2-0. Dennis Martinez still battling on the mound. The pitch to Donnie Baseball. Driven to right. That's going to drive Ramirez back. He's working way harder than he'd like to. And that's 1 out. I want you to think about this the next time you're contemplating self-harm. Kenny Lofton had to play between Albert Bell and Manny Ramirez. Do you think there was a reason Kenny was so thin? Danny Tartable 0 for 2 with a strikeout against Martinez. He lifts one in the air to center field, and this one's going to be taken by Lofton for an out, and that's 2 gone in the 5th, and Paul O'Neill stands in and takes a called third strike, a knee buckler from Denny Martinez. We've played 5, and it's Yankees 2, Indians nothing. Alvaro Espinoza 0 for 1 today, and a .252 hitter with a .264 on-base percentage in the 1995 season. The pitch to Espinoza is hit in the air to center field, and Bernie's going to have to come in hard, but he does, and makes the catch for out number 1. That'll bring up 9th place hitter Sandy Alomar Jr., the catcher for the Indians today. The pitch to him is a blooper to center. A Texas leaguer. It falls in. And the Indians will bring up the tying run one more time. It's Kenny Lofton with 1 out and 1 on to face Abbott. The pitch to Kenny is drilled to center field. That's going to be... Wait a minute. Don't tell me. That's going to be another base hit for Lofton to center field, but Williams is in on a hurry and will hold Alomar Jr. at second base. Omar Vizquel coming to the plate. There's 2 on with 1 out. And Vizquel, who hit .266 on the year in 1995 with a chance to do some damage. Abbott in his first real jam of the ball game, 2 on, 1 out, and the infield for the Yankees at double play depth. This one is a ground ball. No, it's a fly ball. Sorry, fly ball toward right field. That's O'Neill who's going to take it for out number 2. And Carlos Baerga wants to swing. They're going to hold Alomar Jr. at second, so Baerga can swing with a couple of men on base. That didn't come out right. Baerga doesn't want to swing with a couple of men on base. He wants to bat with a couple of men on base. He doesn't want to swing. He wants to bat. All right, Baerga 0 for 2. The pitch from Abbott is hit on the ground to Boggs. He's got it, and he's going to take it himself to third and beat Alomar Jr. there by about 14 steps. That retires the Indians in the 6th. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Dennis Martinez still on. The Yankees will come to the plate with Mike Stanley, Bernie Williams, and Mike Gallego. Stanley's 0 for 2 today. Pitch to Michael is lifted to center field. Kenny Lofton's going to go back a step or two, but pretty much in his tracks. That's 1 down. Bernie Williams walked, stole a base, scored a run in the 4th. He flew out in the 2nd. The pitch to him is hit in the air to right. Manny Ramirez is going to come in a step or 2, and that's out number 2. And Mike Gallego, who bulked up between innings and is now benching a crisp 110 pounds, is over 1 with a walk and a run scored. The pitch is a ground ball towards second base. That's Baerga, who will throw to Herbert, don't call me Albert Bell, Perry, and that will retire the Yankees in the 6th. We go to the 7th. It's 2-0 Yankees in the Bronx. It'll be Albert Bell, Eddie Murray, and Manny Ramirez for the Yankees, and Jim Abbott's still cruising. He's allowed 3 hits. He's walked 1. He's struck out nobody, but he doesn't care because he's throwing a shutout against maybe the most devastating offensive team of the 1990s. The 95 Indians. Albert, don't call me Matthew Perry, comes to the plate, and he's 0 for 2 today. The pitch to him is hit on the ground toward first. Mattingly's going to jump for it, take it, and flip to Jim Abbott for out number 1. Eddie Murray stands in. Murray's 1 for 2 today. And Eddie draws a walk. Manny Ramirez represents the tying run. He also represents a double play opportunity for the Yankees. He's 0 for 1 with a walk today. Abbott working a little more slowly. The pitch to Ramirez is a base hit to center. Murray is going to stop at second, and that will bring up Herbert, don't call me Matthew Perry. He's 0 for 2 with a double play today. Abbott threw a cut fastball that would jam the right-handed batters. They're going to leave him in for one more batter, although the Yankee bullpen is busy. Yankee infield at double play depth. Eddie Murray at second. Manny Ramirez at first. One of them is slow and the other one just doesn't care very much. The pitch is a blooper into left field, muscled by Herbert Perry. It lands in front of Polonia. Murray advances 90 feet, and Alvaro Espinoza is going to come to the plate with the bases full of Indians. Well. Let's see what we've got here. It's the top of the 7th. It's the top of the 7th. And that's going to be it for Jim Abbott. The Yankees, Buck Showalter is calling to the bullpen. He wants Bob Wickman. Bob Wickman will come on and pitch to Espinoza. Abbott's line, 6 1/3, 5 hits, 2 walks, and struck out none. And he gives way to Bob Wickman, whose best pitch was a sinker and is a perfect man to try and give trouble to Espinoza. But he's not going to bat. It's going to be Jim Thome, a very young Jim Thome, but a slow Jim Thome nonetheless. Jim Thome is going to bat for Espinoza here in the 7th and face Wickman. That'll do it for Espinoza. Thome will take over at third. He hit .314 and slugged .558 in 1995. Wickman's going to try and get a double play ball out of him. The Yankee infield is at double play depth. The pitch. And we have a rare play, ladies and gentlemen. We have a rare play. And it is a line shot to Boggs, who steps on third, and the Yankees are out of the inning. Wow. Thome hits the ball hard. Could have gone down the line for extra bases, maybe clearing the bases. But Boggs steps in front of it, makes the play, and ends the inning by stepping on the bag. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It's time to stretch. And it's Yankees 2, Indians nothing. It'll be Pat Kelly, Luis Polonia, and Wade Boggs coming to the plate against Dennis Martinez. Kelly singled and drove in a run in the 4th. He walked in the 2nd. The pitch to Pat is lifted in the air to right field. That's going to be Manram, and he's going to take it for out number 1. Polonia is 2 for 3 with a ribby. Leading off for the Yankees, and hits a fly ball to center field. Lofton is in. He's got it for out number 2. And Wade Boggs, the hero of last inning defensively, but is 0 for 3 today, including rolling into an inning-ending double play back in the 4th. Boggs hits one to shortstop, and that's Gallego. I'm sorry, that's Vizquel. I did it again. And Omar throws across to Matthew, don't call me Herbert Perry, and that will retire the side. We're going to the 8th. It's getting late for Cleveland. Wickman is still on. He will face Roberto Alomar, and then the top of the Indians order. I'm sorry, he'll face Sandy Alomar, not Roberto. Sandy's much less likely to spit on an umpire. Kenny Lofton and then Omar Vizquel will be due for the Indians, the 95 Indians, here in the 8th. We've got a good one going. Alomar stands in, and Sandy hits one to left. That's going to drive Polonia back, but he's got room, and that's one down. Kenny Lofton, and that's going to be it for Wickman. Here comes Buck, and it's going to be a new pitcher. Well, how do they want to play this? They're going to go to Sterling Hitchcock, the left-hander, to try and put the brakes on Kenny Lofton. Sterling Hitchcock is on. It's the top of the 8th where there's one man out, and the left-hander is on to face Kenny Lofton, the left-hander for the left-handed leadoff man for the Indians. Lofton's 1 for 3 today. Sterling Hitchcock made 18 relief appearances in 1994. Remember, it was a strike-shortened year, and as you can see, Sterling is a C pitcher at home. Kenny is demonstrating some platoon weaknesses against lefties, so they're going to stick with a lefty or get a lefty in there. And sure enough, Kenny lifts one to right field. That's going to be O'Neill, who will make the play for out number 2. And now Omar Vizquel. Not sure why Mike Hargrove has him batting second all these times in 1995, but he's 0 for 3 today, and he's got a .333 on base percentage. But if you take him out, you're taking out a Gold Glove, so you can't really do that. Fly ball center field, slapped into center. Bernie Williams is going to come on and make the catch, and that's going to retire the Indians in the 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Martinez is still on. He will face the meat of the Yankee order. It's Mattingly, Tartable, and O'Neill. Mattingly is 1 for 2 with a walk, leading off the inning. The pitch is a ball taken by Mattingly, and he's going to trot down to first. And Hargrove has action going in the Indian bullpen. How do they want to do this? They had some arms. The Indians' bullpen in 1995 definitely could throw some gas. But they're going to wait and let Tartable bat. Tartable, again, the Costanza prodigy, 0 for 3 with a strikeout. And the pitch to Danny is lifted in the air to left field. That's going to drive Albert, Don't Call Me Matthew Perry, Bell back a few steps, but he will make the play. And Paul O'Neill comes to bat. O'Neill is 1 for 3 with a strikeout. The pitch to Paul is a strikeout. Another curveball bender for Martinez, and that'll bring up Mike Stanley. Stanley 0 for 3. Mattingly camped on first. There's 2 men out, and that will be another wild pitch for El Presidente. Mattingly hustles down to second. He's now in scoring position. They're going to stick with him. 0 for 3 for Stanley so far in this one. chance to drive in a big insurance run. The pitch is taken for ball 4. So 2 walks in the inning. Bernie Williams coming to the plate, and here comes Mike Hargrove. And that's going to do it for El Presidente. Dennis Martinez. And Hargrove is going to go with Eric Plunk. Eric Plunk, as you can see from his card, is an A-plus pitcher with maximum strikeouts on the road. He's also an A-plus pitcher at home. This guy was a nasty setup man. And then, of course, he went to Milwaukee and the wheels promptly fell off the cart. But he's on to face Bernie Williams. Mattingly is on second base. It may take a triple to score him. Dennis Martinez pitched well. Give you his line. 7 2/3 innings, 5 hits. But he walked 6. He struck out 3, and both runners are his responsibility on base right now. He allowed 2 runs, both earned. Back in the 4th inning, at least to this point. Plunk to the belt. Williams is 0 for 2 with a walk today. The pitch from Plunk, we have an error check. An error check for the Indians. It is a line shot at Vizquel, and of all the Indians that you don't want to hit it to, he's the one. So he makes the play, and that will retire the Yankees in the 8th. So, after 8 complete, it's New York 2, Cleveland nothing. That's going to do it for Sterling Hitchcock. It's going to do it for Hitchcock. Hitchcock's line, 2/3 of an inning, no hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. And the man who is on to close this one for the Yankees, if he can, is Steve Howe. Now, this is Steve Howe when he still might be confused by the first and third base lines. He will face the heart of the Cleveland order. 2-0, Yankees, top of the 9th. It's Baerga, Albert, Don't Call Me Matthew Perry Bell, and Eddie, Don't Call Me Albert Bell Murray will be coming to the plate for Cleveland. It's the heart of the order for Cleveland, and it's now or never. Steve Howe, let's tell you about him. He became the Yankees closer upon the inconsistent, if that's the word I'm looking for, work by Xavier Hernandez in the 1994 season. Howe is an A-plus pitcher. He had lost the gas on his fastball by this point, but was still very, very effective in this comeback season for him. Baerga stands in. He's 0 for 3. The pitch is hit in the air to left field. Polonia is so thrilled that he's not taken out for defensive purposes, is going to make the catch, and that's out number 1. Albert, Don't Call Me Eric Plunk Bell is at the plate, and he's 0 for 3. The pitch to him is lined in the gap in right center. O'Neill and Williams are chasing it, but Bell is going to be on second with a double, and there's one man out with a man on second for Eddie Murray, who's faced more than a few clutch situations in his day. So Bell's on second. Murray's at the plate. Murray's 1 for 2 with a walk. There is no action in the Yankee bullpen. It is Steve Howe's game at this point. For the save, Murray is up. Manny Ramirez is on deck. The pitch to Eddie is hit in the air to center field. Bernie Williams is going to be back a few steps, but we're in Yankee Stadium, and there's plenty of room in center field, and that's 2 down. And Manny Ramirez is the last chance, having freshly taken a diuretic between innings. I think he's ready to bat. He's 1 for 2 with a walk, and Manny's ready to hit. Bell takes his lead off second, although he's not being very aggressive about it because the game is at the plate. Ramirez facing Howe. Howe to the belt. He checks Albert Bell at second base, and the pitch home to Ramirez is lined for a base hit to right field. He goes the other way. Bell to third. He is going to be held at third, and Ramirez is at first. Herbert, don't call me Joey Tribbiani, Perry is at the plate, ready to bat, and Mike Hargrove is looking down the bench for some legs to run for Manny Ramirez. And he found some. Ruben Amaro Jr. is going to do the pinch running for Manny Ramirez. Here in the ninth, the Indians have men at the corners. Coming down to crunch time. Manny's not happy about it, but he's going to take a seat on the bench, and Amaro will run for him. So we've got Albert Bell on third, Ruben Amaro Jr. on first. They could send him. Stanley has kind of a rag arm at +2. Amaro could run. But they're going to let Perry bat. Howe's in a jam. He's got men at the corners. There's 2 men out. Herbert, don't call me Jennifer Aniston, Perry is at the plate, and he is 1 for 3 with a ground ball double play to his credit in this one. Howe to the belt. He checks Bell at third. He checks Amaro at first, and the pitch home to Perry is trouble. That one is trouble. It's hit in the gap to left center. That's going to split Polonia and Williams and roll all the way to the wall. We're going to have Bell score. The relay goes to Gallego, who's going to turn and throw for Amaro, trying to score from first, and they don't get him. Herbert, don't call me Lisa Kudrow, Perry drives in both of the runs needed to tie this game with 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning. And now he's the lead run. He is the lead run with 2 outs, and Jim Thome coming to the plate against Steve Howe. Now, they have a lefty, they have a platoon advantage with staying with Howe, but they could walk Thome. But they're not gonna. They're gonna stick with Thome and pitch to him rather than walk him. Thome lined into a double play in the 7th. The game is tied at 2. The pitch home to Thome is a ground ball to first. Mattingly's gonna take it unassisted, and that will retire the Indians in the 9th. But they've tied the game at 2. We're going to the bottom of the 9th. Changes for the Indians. Ruben Amaro will be the new right fielder in place of Ramirez, who he pinch ran for and scored a run in the top of the 9th. So that's 2 runs in for the Indians in the top of the 9th. And now it's the Yankees' chance after Howe blows the save. They have Gallego, Kelly, and Polonia due. And let's see what they want to do with their bench at this point. Gallego is 0 for 2 with a walk. Matt Noakes is going to come to the plate. Eric Plunk is still on. Matt Noakes, a backup catcher, will come to the plate for the Yankees to lead off the 9th inning. And Gallego will be pulled. Noakes has quite a card. He's got home run chances 0 to 7 against right-handers. He's going to go for it on the Yankees' short porch here against Plunk, who's in to do one thing, and that's throw gas. So power against power. Noakes hitting for Gallego. The pitch to him is a ground ball to second. That's Baerga, who's going to make the play to first for the out, and that's 1 down in the Yankee 9th. Pat Kelly, the second baseman, is up. Pat's 1 for 2 with a ribby and a walk, and the pitch from Plunk to him is driven to left. It's down the line. It's into the corner. Bell wakes up and gets over there and throws it back in, but Kelly is on second base with a double. The lead run is in scoring, or the winning run is in scoring position for the Yankees. And Hargrove is not going to make a move at this point to replace Plunk. Luis Polonia is due up, and he's just the kind of slap hitter who might give Eric Plunk some trouble. Kelly's going to take his lead off second base. Do they want to pinch run for Pat Kelly? They've already used up Gallego. No, they're not gonna. Polonia stands in there against Plunk. The pitch is hitting the air to right field. This one is for Romero Jr., who will make the play, and that's 2 down. And now you have an 0 for 4 Wade Boggs coming to the plate, and first base open with Mattingly on deck. They could go to a left-hander, and I think they will. Yep, it's going to be Paul Ossenmacher. Ossenmacher is coming on to face Boggs and, if necessary, Mattingly in the bottom of the 9th. Give you Plunk's line on his departure from the ballgame. Plunk went 1 inning, gave up 1 hit. He didn't walk or strike out anybody, and he allowed no runs, at least to this point. But Pat Kelly on second base is still his responsibility. So there's 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. Pat Kelly is on second, and Wade Boggs is looking to win the game. Paul Ossenmacher, as a reliever, pitched 47 times for the 1995 Indians in the regular season. And as you can see, he's an A-plus pitcher on the road. The left-hander is on to try and get Wade Boggs. Boggs just needs any old kind of hit. Kelly's working on his lead at second base. Ossenmacher to the belt, and the pitch to Boggs. The pitch to Boggs is strike 3 swinging. Wow. Ossenmacher does his job And that will retire the Yankees in the bottom of the ninth. So, Noakes hit for Mike Gallego. So, we need a shortstop for New York, and it's going to be Randy Velarde, who will come on in the top of the 10th to play shortstop. Howe tried to close this one and didn't get the job done, so there's going to be a new Yankee pitcher. And the Yankees are going to go with the Terminator, Jeff Reardon, who was not awesome in general in 1994 for the Yankees. In fact, he retired, I believe, in May of that year, but he was signed in the offseason before the 1994 season to be a setup man. So we're going to call on him to do that right now. As you can see at home, Jeff Reardon in 1994 was a C reliever. Don't want to use him on the road, he's a G, but at home he's a C. And his task will be to control the Indians in the top of the 10th. It's Sandy Alomar Jr., who's 1 for 3, Kenny Lofton, and Omar Vizquel. The pitch to Alomar is a fly ball to center field. That's Bernie Williams, all by his lonesome. And he takes it for out number 1 in the 10th. And I'm dropping dice all over the place. Kenny Lofton stands in with 1 out and nobody on. Kenny's on a 1 for 4 day. The pitch to him is a line drive base hit to left field. He goes the other way. Kenny's aboard in the 10th with 1 out, and you better believe he's thinking about going. Stanley, not a great throwing arm. Kenny takes his lead. Reardon slow in his delivery to the plate. And there he goes. The pitch. He steals it. He steals second. And the throw is not nearly in time. That'll give Vizquel a chance to give the Indians the lead. And let's see if Buck is going to make a move. He is going to make a move. That's going to do it for Reardon. And they're going to go to the Pope, Don Paul, to come on here in the 10th. Reardon didn't get the job done, but maybe the Pope, Don Paul, will. Don Paul, also a setup man for the 94 Yankees, as you can see. He's an A-plus pitcher at home, and he's on to try and shut things down here in the 10th. He made 28 relief appearances in the shortened 1994 season for the Yankees. Okay, the pitch to Vizquel. He could bunt. He's 0 for 4. Lofton takes his lead off second. The pitch is trouble. This one's hit in the gap for Omar, and it's going to get into right field. Down the line, he pulls the Pope. Lofton will score from second. Vizquel drives him in and has a double for himself, and that gives the Indians a 3-2 lead in the top of the 10th. Carlos Baerga steps in. The pitch to him is a blooper into left. It's a blooper into left, and that is going to be grabbed by Polonia. Now they're waving Vizquel. Omar around third. Here comes the throw home. It's not in time, and it's 4-2 Indians, and their offense is now clicking. Albert, don't call me Lisa Kudrow Bell, is coming to the plate. He's 1 for 4 with a double and a run scored. 1 out in the 10th, 2 runs in. Don Paul in a world of trouble. The pitch to Bell. And Don Paul just threw a wild pitch. That'll let Baerga get up to second base. And so they're going to put Bell on. They're going to walk him and face Eddie Murray with a potential double play situation in order. Bell is on first. Murray at the plate. And the pitch. And we have a range check. The range check is going to go to center field. Bernie Williams can't get there. It's going to fall in, but it's a bleeder, so the runners have to hold, and the bases will be loaded now for Ruben Amaro Jr. Now, Ruben Amaro Jr. had many virtues, but swinging a bat was not one of them. His batting average in 1995 was .200. His on-base percentage was .273, and he slugged, if that's the word I'm looking for, a crisp .300. But he could catch the ball. And with a 4-2 lead, they're going to let him bat, and the infield is going to come in. The infield is in. Paul to the belt. He checks the runners. The pitch is hit in the air to right. O'Neill is back. Now Baerga is tagging. The pitch, or the tag, Baerga trying to score. The throw, oh, he faked us out. He retreats and goes back to third. So now with 2 outs, it's going to be Herbert, don't call me Courtney Cox, Perry coming to the plate. It's 2 for 4 for Perry today with a 2-run double in the 9th that tied the game and saved the game, really, for the Indians. The bases are loaded. He could put this thing out of reach with a hit. There's 2 men out. The bases are loaded. Baerga's on third. Bell is on second. Murray is on first. The pitch to Herbert Perry is a line shot right at shortstop, caught by new shortstop Randy Velarde, and that will retire the Yankees, or the Indians, the Indians, in the top of the 10th. We go to the bottom of the 10th, and Assenmacher is gone. The Indians, after the Yankees do not have success with their closer, the Indians bring theirs on from 1995, and that's Jose Mesa. Assenmacher went 1/3 of an inning. He struck out his only batter that he faced. Jose Mesa pitched 62 games in the strike-shortened 1995 season, and as you can see, was an A-plus pitcher on the road. And it's going to be Mattingly, Tartable, and O'Neill. The Yankees need 2 at least, or it's all over. Mattingly leads off. He's 1 for 2 today with 2 walks. And he needs to get on base like right now to help his team. The pitch to Mattingly. He strikes out against Mesa on gas. That's 1 down in the bottom of the 10th. Danny Tartable, it's getting late. He had a .360 on base average, but he has not gotten on base today. It's 0 for 4 with a strikeout. The pitch to him is looped into left, and it's a base hit. Danny Tartable singles, and he is aboard. And Paul O'Neill, the batting champion in the American League in 1994, if you count it that way, I don't know. They played 113 games, but he was batting .359 when the strike happened, so he was number 1. Excuse me. And I'm going to take a drink of water. We got some drama here in the 9th. Paul O'Neill comes to the plate. He is 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts on the day, but he is very capable of tying this game. Tartable is on first. The pitch to O'Neill, and oh my God, he just missed it. Fly ball right field. Amaro Jr. is going to make the play close to the track, and that's 2 down. Mike Stanley is coming to the plate, and Mike Stanley was a pretty good offensive player. In 1994, he hit 300 with an on-base percentage of .384. He slugged .545. Mesa is not out of the woods yet. Stanley's 0 for 3 today with a walk back in the 8th inning. Coming down to the last pitch. It's 4-2 Indians. The Yankees need 2 to tie. There's 2 outs in the bottom of the 10th. The tying run is at the plate. Danny Tartable's on first. Mike Stanley is at the plate. They can tie it with a long one by Stanley. And this one is hit on the ground to short. Vizquel is going to go the short way to Baerga, and that is your ball game. We go 10 between these two titans of the 1990s, and the 1995 Indians pull it out with 2 in the 9th to tie it and 2 more in the 10th to win it by a score of 4-2 over the 1994 Yankees. Let's do the line score for you. For the victorious 1995 Indians, they scored 4 runs on 12 hits, and they made no errors. For the Yankees, this was a game of missed opportunities. They scored 2 runs on 7 hits, and they made no errors. Winning pitcher in this one, Paul Ossenmacher, for his 1/3 of an inning of relief. The loser is Jeff Reardon, the Terminator, which breaks my heart because he was absolutely one of my favorite pitchers. But he allowed Lofton to get on base in the 10th, and Lofton eventually scored the winning run. And the save goes to Jose Mesa for the Indians. I hope you enjoyed this game as much as I did. These teams are available in the Teams of the 90s set for Pine Tar Baseball. Pine Tar Baseball, available at ttlbaseballgame.com. The Teams of the 90s set is available right now at ttlbaseballgame.com. And there's a lot of good matchups to be had here, including this one between the 95 Indians and the 94 Yankees. Hope you enjoyed it. I do hope that you'll click like and subscribe to my channel. I do appreciate it. I'll have more teams from the 90s for you tomorrow. Have a great evening, and so long, everybody.